Hello and welcome! Silrace here with Mechwarrior Online. I want to talk about the Quirk changes which just happened last week. Yeah, it will be last week by the time this video goes live. Anyway, background footage is some Mechwarrior Online action, so if you don't want to listen to me, the background footage has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, it's just there for a distraction, alright? So, if you don't want to listen to me, just mute me and watch the Mech action, alright? Anyway. Let me get my thoughts out on the Quirks, and I'm not gonna go through them one mech at a time. This is not a review of the Quirks of any of that. If you want to know what the Quirk changes were, you hop on over to the official website and look at the news section. Alright. So, I have to say I really love the fact that there is no changes being done, because this game has needed a shake-up badly for the last few years. However, let us be outright honest about things here. Just because the Quirks are being changed for a bunch of mechs, do not mean those particular mechs suddenly became god tier good. Allow me to give you an example. If we weigh the options between various 20-ton mechs, because low costs just got some changes, and if we compare the low cost to the Flea is objectively the better mech in essentially every way, every case you can put it in. Because it can do the various versions of Flea, the various variants of Flea, can do the same thing as the variants of low cost across the board. However, the Flea does it better by being a smaller target, which is a big deal for a light mech. That doesn't mean the low cost is suddenly better, these Quirks, that the low cost is suddenly better than the Flea. It is not. However, now you can actually do some things with the low cost which might get it a little bit closer to being, you know, as good as the Flea in certain aspects. The Flea is still the better mech. And remember, there is nothing wrong with liking a bad mech and enjoying to play it. Just accept the fact that it's a bad mech and go have fun. I'll give you an example of my own. I enjoy playing the Enforcer, and the Enforcer is not a good 50-ton medium. Its geometry is bad and so forth. It is not a good 50-tonner. However, I enjoy playing. I just know that it is not a top-tier medium mech to play. So that out of the way. Some other things I really enjoy is the fact that, for example, the Mech Links now has the active probe which was locked in the head. That's unlocked by default, which means that the Mech Links now has 7.5 tons of space to play around with weapons. That by itself means you can run 8 heavy medium guns, as in 8 heavy machine guns, and run a whole bunch of ammo for them as well. Which suddenly makes Mech Links a kind of workable light mech. Mech Links still suffers by the fact that its top speed is what, 130? So it essentially, if it runs into a light mech which wants to duel other light mechs, like let's say various versions of a Flea, it still can't outrun. It cannot get out of that situation. It has to fight. So yeah. Mech Links still suffers from the fact that it is a 25-ton light, which lacks the speed of actual, you know, fast light mechs. For example, things which can change the engine, Flea, low cost, Piranha, and for example just a Commando, which is a 25-ton light mech capable of going much faster than the Mech Links. All that said, I really enjoy the Quirk changes. I do. There were some oddballs there, like for example, how does the Atlas DDC variant have the exact same armor setup as all the other Atlases, while being the Atlas able to mount ECM? Now, I'm not really complaining, it just felt a little odd, because the ECM has pretty much always been, so far at least, has been the, hey, you can mount ECM, that means you are the worst variant in other aspects. However, at least not armor-wise, is not the case here. But I'm not complaining about all of that. The Atlas wasn't all that blade mech, and it wasn't all that crazy good of a 100-tonner previously, so now it's much more playable, and definitely much more, you know, enjoyable to play them. There is one hidden aspect here that which seems like not everybody keeps voicing up, which is kind of surprising to me that I haven't seen it discussed a lot more. Which is the fact that a whole lot of mechs suddenly got a lot more armor on them. Atlas, the Centurion, and so on. Like, a lot of them got a lot more armor, which means that every single one of us will have a higher damage score at the end of the game screens, because we will have to deal more damage to go through the various different mechs. Especially if this trend keeps going on, where soon every mech has a little bit more armor. That means our damage numbers need to go up, and that might also mean that we need to carry more ammo for ballistic and missile weapons within like half a year or so if these Quirk changes keep going as they are, and ammo counts do not go up at any more than they have already done a little bit in the past. Like in the last couple of weapon changes, the ammo went up a little bit, but we will see if that balance goes out of the whack. If all mechs gain more armor and we don't get more ammo, suddenly we may need to carry more ammo. We will see. We will see. That will be interesting. But also the fact that your damage numbers will be higher at the end of the game, but if you destroy the entire enemy team, because you will have to pour out more firepower to go through them. That is interesting. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and if you weren't listening, hopefully you enjoyed the random background footage and whatnot, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you folks next time with more Mechwarrior Online.